What's up, guys? SkittleRampage here. So we are going to be doing some research on the new upcoming Samurai Jack versus Afro Samurai. And I have Samurai Jack here. I watched him as a kid on Cartoon Network, but I don't remember anything about him. Honestly, now there's like 5 seasons, I think my brother said. It's been a long time. It's probably been at least 9 years, 10 years almost since I've seen it. Because I think the last show on Cartoon Network stopped airing in 2007. I think if I remember, I don't know, something like that. I know you guys. Hopefully we'll find it in the research, or if so, someone tell me down below. The last video on this did well. You guys seem to like me doing research, so that was pretty cool. Thank you guys for all viewing on the Ryu versus Jin video. So I watched Afro Samurai. I finished watching it all today, and it was an amazing anime, top notch. I loved it. Samuel L. Jackson was funny in it. But let's get right into this. So I'm gonna read up. Okay, early life. Jack was born a prince to his father's land. Okay. Quick thing though. I know that he was from the past and he got sent to the future by a wizard. That's all I really know. But okay. And greatly resembling Japan's Edo period in appearance, albeit with culture closer to the Nara and Heian period. Okay, I'm gonna have to look up what those are. His story first began when he was born shortly after a coup was sealed away by Jack's father. Who's a coup? Who's a coup? Okay, hopefully it tells us who that is. About 8 years later, when Jack was 8 years old, with the help of a solar eclipse, the seal was broken and a coup was freed. Okay, a coup is that the wizard? Or no, is that demon guy right there on the left on my screen? Coup was free. Jack's mother went into hiding and sent Jack to train around the world as it was planned by his parents should a coup ever escape his prison, and Jack's father failed to stop him. Training with his teachers, his mother took him to a Japanese ship whose captain who took him from his homeland. On the journey, he taught astronomy and how to navigate via the stars. The ship takes Jack to Arabia, where a sheik taught him to ride horses. From there, he is taken to Africa. I think this site isn't that accurate, but it's okay. I'm gonna look up more after this video, but I'm just using this site because it's the main site I find. Someone told me this site isn't that accurate, but hopefully it's accurate for this character. But after reaching proficiency, he was brought to Egypt, where he was educated by their best scholars. Jack eventually moves to Greece to learn the art of wrestling, followed by a trip to England where he met Robin Hood, who trained him on how to use a bow and arrow. Okay, so he can use a sword and a bow and arrow. That's pretty cool. As well as helped him hone his senses. All right, cool. So he can use a bow and arrow. That's an advantage. Sort of. Samurai Jack's he's pretty skilled himself. His final training took him to a Shaolin temple where he learned their discipline and martial arts. Okay, so he knows martial arts, obviously. Confronting a coup after years of training with some of the greatest warriors of time, Jack returned to the temple his mother was hiding in. He was given the sword his father used to seal a coup. Aku. However, hopefully I'm saying it right. Along with his signature gi. Oh, okay, so that was his father's gi. Cool. He warned Jack that it was too early for him to fight a coup. Oh, so his father is still alive. I thought his father died. But he didn't listen and continued on. Jack then confronted the demon. Okay, it's a demon. And the battle began. Jack managed to severely wound a coup, but before he could deal the final blow, a coup opened a time portal and threw Jack into it, sending him centuries into the future. When Jack finally escaped the portal, he found himself in a dystopian future. After Jack escaped being crushed, he met 3 alien teens who called him Jack. Okay, he asked them, so that's how he got his name. So what was his actual name? That's confusing. Let's see, the teens then showed him a bar where he could get a drink, but was attacked by crooks. However, he quickly disposed of them, of course. Okay, I don't think we need to read all of this. 50 years in the future. During his 50 years in a coup's time, Jack spent much of his time helping people, garnering the respect of everyone he had helped along the way. However, Jack himself slowly fell into depression and madness due to his constant and seemingly irreversible failure to return home. Yeah, man, all the guy wants to do is return home. Tell me below if this is worth watching. If because I saw not too many episodes, but enough to know who he is and kind of get his character when I was younger. And keep in mind, I was like 7 or 8 when I was watching this, so I don't remember anything. It's been 10 years, guys. As Jack awaits his fate in Aku's lair, he pleads with Ashi to resist her father's influence, though on the surface his cries fall on deaf ears. So who's Ashi? Maybe I missed that. Oh wait, Ashi, she needs to bring out her best. Maybe we can find who. Where's my mouse? Ashi soon confirmed. Like I said, guys, I'm not big on editing. Like I can't just like throw in things like that. I'm slowly getting better. So for now, we're just doing, you know, reading up, hardcore book, basically book work. But let's get back to the final battle. Jack politely declines the offer to choose one of them as a spouse, explaining that he already met Ashi. Oh, okay. He tried to give him his many daughters. That's funny. Ashi, who declares that Aku isn't her father. Ashi and Jack realize that she still has Aku's power, and after a brief battle, she fetches his sword and uses her power to create a time portal to turn to the point where Aku sent. Ooh, okay, he got back. Hopefully he finishes him off this time, douchebag. His hope renewed. Jack watches the sun shine over the forest. I know I'm kind of reading this backwards. Some time later, Jack and Ashi are about to be wed. Ashi collapses at the altar, explaining that due to Aku's death in the past, she would never have come into existence. Oh no, that's insane. He must have regretted that. Ah, that sucks. She died just because he had to kill him. Ah, dang, that's sad, man. Good lord. Personality, Jack strongly exhibits the characteristics of a stoic hero, obviously. He's unfailingly kind and generous and will always attempt to help those in need, as well as dispatching sage-like wisdom to those he believes are in need of guidance. He often ends up sacrificing a chance to return to his own time in order to help someone. He has had considerable development during his time in the future. Initially thought, man, though, I kind of want to watch it now. I think I might watch it, guys. He's getting to me. He's like growing on me. Season 1 through 4, and I think 5 just came out, actually. Not that just out, but I think it came out last year, I want to say. However, over time, he has become much more patient and calm. He is also clever and rational, able to pose a plan or strategy necessary to defeat the enemy. Okay. So does it say anything about... Okay, so that's his appearance. Jack's armor. Okay, so he has armor. That's cool. He looks actually really cool. Bloody and, like... He kind of reminds me of Hugh Jackman there from Logan. No, not Logan. The Wolverine, when he's all like, when he's near that, he has to kill that bear, how he looks. Okay, powers and ability. This is what I've been looking for. Agelessness, enhanced longevity. Due to an unintended side effect of Aku's time traveling spell, Jack senses arrival through time. He no longer physically ages, potentially able to live indefinitely. Also, as a result, he has retained his youthful appearance along with his prime health and vitality, despite being in his 70s or 80s chronologically. However, he is not immortal, thus he is still susceptible to death via starvation, cold, physical injury, still vulnerable to pain and injuries, and could be killed in the same way as any normal human. This longevity does not apply to his metabolism, thus he still requires food, water, and rest. It is unknown whether or not Jack retained the ability after changing time by finally destroying Aku in the past. That's true. Okay, they kind of nerfed it there. Animal empathy. Jack's pure nature has commonly shown a strong connection to animals of various sizes and shapes. Often they grow attached to and in essence become his allies. That's pretty cool. So he could get some allies in the fight against Afro Samurai. Not that they'd really help. I don't know, maybe. Cunning. Jack has demonstrated a high level of understanding and intelligence, so he's smart. That's good. And seeing though Aku's deception on quite a few occasions, this cunning allows him to easily plan for his opponent and strategies. Hunting and survival skills. He's a master archer. Jack has shown to have excellent skills in archery since he was trained by Robin Hood. His archer skill was put to the test in episode 3 when Jack used this skill to set off traps against the beetle drones. Later uses arrows. Okay. Master marksman. Jack has high levels of precision and accuracy. Oh, so he can use firearms. He's impressive. More impressive than I thought. Master martial artist. Jack has shown impressive masteries in many styles, including Shaolin praying mantis, tiger, and eagle styles. Wow. 50 years, he is shown to be skilled enough to kill 3 of the highly skilled daughters of Aku. Master melee fighter, so he doesn't need a weapon. He can use his knuckles. Master swordsman. Well, I mean, I know it says a number of weapons, but I feel like he's probably good with his fists. Swordsman, master. Oh, sorry guys. Master swordsman. Jack's signature and arguably greatest skill in his performance with a sword. Jack's style relies primarily on swiftness and precision in his strikes, balancing with strong defensive stances that parry his opponent's strikes until finding an opening for a decisive blow. Very few opponents have been demonstrated to be a match for his swordsmanship. The ninja, ultra robot. After 50 years, he is shown to be able to fight a group of assassins using only a combat knife. That's great. Ninjutsu, peak human conditioning from spending majority of his life preparing to face a coup and continue constantly. Peak human strength, deceptive raw strength for his lean frame, able to cleanly cut through most machines with little effort. Willpower, that's a big thing. Seems to possess a nearly indomitable force of will, able to push himself through virtually any hardship. See, in the end, sometimes it's not all up to skill. Sometimes it can just be down to willpower. Whoever has more will to live, and I guess it just comes down to what you have to fight for, really. So his main weapon is the katana, extended weaponry, electric trident, tuning knife, laser pistol. So he has his samurai armor, protection. They'll probably put him in the samurai armor. He'll probably switch to it at one point. The armor originally had a demon mask until it was destroyed during a confrontation with the beetle drones. Oh, okay, so maybe he won't have the armor because it was destroyed? I don't know, maybe. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can find anything on Samurai Jack, and I'll cut over there, okay? Alright, guys, so, you know the man, Afro Samurai. So, we're going to... I don't need to know his I know his personality, everything. I don't need to know his... Here, I'll read some of it. Actually, I can kind of tell you his history. In the anime, there's only 5 episodes. They're 27 minutes apiece. There's 2 bands. There's number 1 and number 2, and number 1 basically makes you god in the show, and number 2, you can with this headband you can challenge number 1, but nobody else can challenge number 1 unless you have that number 2 headband. And for anybody can challenge number 2, but only number 2 can challenge number 1, if that makes sense to you guys. So when he's young, his Afro's dad, I forget, did they ever say his name? I don't know if they ever said his name. He some guy came with a guy that had guns came challenging his dad, who was number 1, and he was number 2, and he ended up chopping his dad's head off, actually, and then his head was in front of him rolling, and he told Afro that to train hard, basically, and that he'll be waiting for him. So Afro did that. He trained hard, and he got beat up by some bandits looking for number 2, and oh, no, he was holding number 2. He had number 2, and then he got beat up by some bandits, and they took it. And then these kids from a dojo found him, like basically nursed him back to health, and he trained at this dojo. But later on in the anime, it finds out, like, after he has friends and a girl, and like he ends up having a relationship kind of with this girl, but she ends up stabbing him in the back, and then she dies later on. But and then there's also this another guy. See, I just watched the anime, but some of the names they got away from me. But basically, his childhood friend, he treated him like a brother, and then Afro killed his master, killed the master, because the master was number 2, and he was looking for him for so long, and he couldn't find him, and then turns out it's his master. So he kills him. He finally gets the number 2 when he's like, he looks teenage there in the flashback. So Samurai is going through numbers of guys, assassins that are trying to kill him, while he makes his way up to, like, there's this mountain, and it has 2 hands like this, side by side, and the number 1's waiting for him up there. So there's this evil, like, little scientist that keeps sending robots after him, and his childhood friend died in the fight when Afro Samurai and number 2 were fighting when he was a teenager. And sorry if I'm not explaining this that well. I'm trying to remember it as well. But his friend kind of got really slashed up in the fight because they got attacked by assassins, actually. And then he was waiting at that tree because he told him that he was number 2. So he said, I'll be waiting at the tree outside. And then assassins attacked them. Then they got into a battle. And his childhood kind of brother / best friend fell off a cliff, and he thought he was dead, but it turns out he was a cyborg now. Some evil scientist put him back together and made him really, really strong, and he has like a double sword style. So Afro wouldn't fight back to him. That was probably his greatest challenge, to be honest, because Afro wouldn't fight him back because of their history. But in the end, he ended up killing him. And then I'm basically giving you guys a quick rundown. But Afro, he's pretty skilled. he has an imaginary best friend throughout the story who's voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. I can't tell if he's voiced by Samuel L. Jackson as well, or not. I'm not sure, because he says, like, he rarely says anything throughout the anime. So, but it turned out to be a fantastic anime. You guys should check it out. It's on Hulu if you guys have Hulu. But you could probably find it on like Ryu Anime, dubbedanime.net, animestreams.net, all kinds of anime sites. Oh yeah, tell me if you guys want to see a like my top 10 favorite anime video. I might do a video on that. But yeah, so he confronts the number one guy who killed his father, and he ends up at one point you think he's dead, but his like the spike that there turns out to be actually tons more headbands for some reason, and this number one guy's killed everyone, and he needs his Afro's headband to like become complete god of the world, kind of, in a way. And Afro ends up killing him. You think Afro's dead because like the spike, it just goes up in his afro, and I feel like it like scratches his scalp, and it's like bleeding down. He was like, I finally killed him, finally got all the headbands, but no, Afro came down, cut him into a million pieces. And then it cuts over to him fighting his childhood best friend again / brother, and he was like, oh, so you've come to lose basically again. He's like, maybe I'll win this time. And then they go at each other, and it ends there. I'm kind of surprised they only made it 5 episodes, but for 5 episodes it was a really good story. The only thing I didn't like was the art at the end, or kind of like the art, it was a little too like, the setting kind of like too dark, like it was too dark of an anime in my opinion. But so I gave you guys the rundown kind of, and then abilities, let's see. He's a highly skilled swordman able to deflect crossbow bolts, shatter bullets. Oh, that's what he did in the beginning. He shattered 1 bullet and killed like 10 men. It was insane. Ugh, it was so awesome. Afro can use his subconscious mind to create completely new combat techniques in the middle of battle. Yes, that's very useful for him. That was taught by his sword master. Yes, like it says. He's fairly strong, able to cleanly slice through thugs and warriors quickly and effortlessly, or pierce a person's throat with his sword sheath, which is ridiculous. He's also able to jump quite high, and his speed and agility are his only skills that match his strength. He shows enough strength to send a guy twice his size flying into a wall with a single punch. He did do that in a bar in the anime. Afro normally fights with his sword in one hand, but when facing stronger opponents or higher numbers, he will use 2 hands for a stronger attack. Afro's speed and agility are such that he can quickly slice an RPG missile in 2 and shatter a bullet in molten shards. Afro is also fast enough to easily avoid the sword attacks of Gino Kuma and the Afro droid. Yes, that was his name, Gino Kuma. I think that was his name. And the Afro droid and can dodge. There actually was a copy made of him when that girl, when I said she stabbed him in the back. She was taking his sword skills while he's sleeping, while he's healing, because he got pretty messed up in a fight. And she claimed to be healing him, but she was stealing his data, or kind of creating data. And they created this Afro droid who almost killed him, to be honest. It was a tough challenge, but he like honed his senses, and then he dodged, and then he cut that thing in half until it came back, actually, and then he ended up fighting it again. Like, I think the next episode. Afro's only weapon is his sword, previously wielded by his father, Rokotaru. So, oh, that's his father. Is that his father's name? I think that's his father's name, or that's the sword's name. It's a long-bladed sword with a square grace guard and a red-colored hilt and sheath. It also has a string with a small cowrie shell at the end of the bottom of its sword. But yeah, so between the two, I think after seeing Afro Samurai in action in the anime, his sword skills, they were cool, but after reading, like, he was very strong, he's very agile, and he has a kind of a never give up attitude. But reading off of Samurai Jack, I gotta go with Samurai Jack, because it seems like he's more attuned in a way, in my opinion. You guys can tell me down below what you think, who you think will win. But I don't know. I feel like I got to go with Samurai Jack on this one based off what I read off him. And I'll probably watch the anime on him and check him out. See, maybe my decision will change after I watch a couple episodes. See what how he works. But based off what I read on the research on Samurai Jack, I think I'm going to go with Samurai Jack. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little research. I know it's kind of different how I do it in a way, because I kind of just read it off, and hopefully that's different. Like, I'm trying to create different videos for you guys, you know, not all the same like everyone else. I want to create unique content for you guys is basically what I'm saying. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to know what you guys think, of my opinion, of my choice, and if you disagree with it, let me know. I would love to talk about it with you guys in the comments, and remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. And yeah, but thanks for watching, guys, and 500 subscribers. I can't wait to get there. See you guys later. Bye.